Every classroom in the world rewards the same thing. Raise your hand first. Speak up in the group. Lead the discussion. Be the one the room notices. The quiet ones sit in the back. They're called shy, withdrawn, not engaged. Here's what nobody says out loud. In study after study, the quiet ones remember more. Albert Einstein refused to attend parties. He described social interaction as physically exhausting. His exact words. He also held ideas in his head for years, turning them slowly, examining every angle, before saying a single word about them. The world called him a genius. He was just an introvert, using the system his brain was built for. In 2012, Susan Cain published a book called Quiet. She had spent years researching one question: why does a world built for extroverts consistently undervalue the people whose brains are wired for depth? Her answer was uncomfortable. Introverts don't lack social skill. They lack the desire to perform it constantly, and that one difference, the decision to preserve energy instead of spending it on the room, turns out to be one of the most powerful learning advantages in existence. 3 reasons why. Chapter 1. The deep processing default. Introverts and extroverts process information differently. This is not preference. This is neuroscience. Research by psychologist Debra using brain imaging found that introverts show more activity in the frontal lobes, the regions associated with planning, problem solving, and internal processing. Extroverts show more activity in the sensory regions, the parts that process external stimulation. What that means in practice: when an extrovert encounters new information, their brain reaches outward. It looks for confirmation, discussion, reaction. It processes the surface and moves on. When an introvert encounters new information, their brain reaches inward. It connects the new idea to existing ideas. It holds it, turns it, looks for contradictions. This is called deep processing. And deep processing produces a fundamentally different kind of memory. Surface processing encodes the what. Deep processing encodes the why, the how, and the 50 things it connects to. When the test comes, or the interview, or the conversation that actually matters, one of those memories is retrievable. The other one is gone. You've spent your whole life in a system that rewarded speed. Your brain was built for depth. Those are not the same thing. And depth wins. Chapter 2. The solitude advantage. Here is something that sounds obvious, but almost nobody acts on. Deep learning requires silence, not preference for silence. Biological requirement. Anders Ericsson spent 30 years studying what separates experts from everyone else. His finding: every elite performer he studied, musicians, athletes, chess grandmasters, surgeons, spent the majority of their practice time alone, not because they were antisocial, because the cognitive work that produces mastery cannot happen with an audience. The moment you're aware of being watched, your brain shifts from learning mode to performance mode. Learning mode: process, connect, consolidate. Performance mode: manage impression, monitor reaction, appear competent. You cannot be in both at once. Introverts default to solitude, not because they're afraid of people, because they instinctively protect the conditions that their brain needs to actually work. Extroverts have to fight for those conditions. Introverts live in them. Every hour an introvert spends alone with material is an hour in the exact environment Ericsson identified as necessary for mastery. The environment extroverts have to create deliberately. Introverts create automatically. Chapter 3. The reflection loop. After any learning experience, a lecture, a book, a difficult conversation, introverts do something extroverts almost never do. They replay it, not rumination. Reflection. They go quiet and process what just happened, what was said, what was meant, what they understood, and what they missed, what they would do differently. This is not overthinking. This is the brain running consolidation. When we sleep, our brains consolidate memories, moving information from short-term to long-term storage. Reflection does something similar while awake. It gives the brain a second pass. And material it just encountered. Neuroscientist Helen Immordino-Yang at USC found that inward reflection activates the same neural networks as deep memory consolidation during sleep. Introverts run this process automatically after almost every significant experience. Extroverts move to the next external stimulus. The introvert brain is reviewing the lecture, while the extrovert brain is looking for the next party. Both are doing exactly what they're built to do. One of those things produces mastery. Einstein didn't become Einstein, despite refusing to perform for the room. He became Einstein because of it. Every hour he didn't spend at a party was an hour his brain spent turning an idea until it cracked open. Deprocessing solitude, reflection, 3 things the world told you were weaknesses, 3 things that turn out to be the exact conditions your brain needs to learn at a level most people never reach. The classroom was built for the hand that goes up first. It was never built for the brain that goes deepest. Those are not the same brain. And in every environment outside the classroom, depth is the only thing that actually matters. But here's the problem. Deep processing, solitude, reflection, all 3 require one thing you're running out of: uninterrupted time. Your phone is designed to make sure you never have more than 3 minutes of it. That's why I made this video on exactly how to reclaim that time and build the conditions your brain has been waiting for its entire life. Watch it next.